like a lot of romance novelists kind of have a fear for writing about women that don't look like them. And you did it so beautifully writing about protective hairstyles and equity, and even kind of like her friendships and these nuances. I remember even telling my mom, I was like, I'm really shocked this is written by someone who doesn't look like us. And I was wondering what kind of made you dive into Jasmine and want to write about a Black woman as your first FMC?
Absolutely. So, with knowing that I wanted to set this story in Washington, D.C., and that I really wanted this character to be somebody who was in DC, but not of DC. And so, really being this person who's straddling both worlds, it felt really disingenuous to me to create a character that was a DC native who was not Black,
Mhm.
because DC is one of the Blackest cities in the country. The people who live there, who work there, who aren't of the political system are largely Black. So it felt like I would be doing a disservice to the community of DC if that was not something that was spoken to in this book, because it is such a stark divide between the two. And having this character who really does have a foot in two worlds in so many different ways, it was really important to me to have her biracial identity be a part of that, and that she's sort of sitting in both of those places. I've had the wonderful benefit in my life of getting to work with people both professionally and as my clients in my career as a social worker, who come from a huge variety of different backgrounds, and hearing their stories and understanding where they're coming from, and really appreciating the power of storytelling and the power of what difference that makes. So leaning into that, doing a ton of research on reading first person accounts, reading romance novels by Black authors like Beverly Jenkins and Kennedy Bryan and Talia Hibbert, like getting into those characters and what their experiences were like, to really flesh out what life could look like for a woman who really was living with a foot in both of these worlds. And I'm also super fortunate that my acquiring editor with my publisher, Shakira Blakeney, is a Black woman, and she was an incredible influence on this book. She picked it up. She believed in the character of Jasmine as a convincing woman who was biracial, and her fingerprints are all over this in terms of the authenticity and what it was created for.